Ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers and trainers, Namaskar, brothers and sisters, dear friends, the most honorable present Prime Minister, Sir Dr. Narendra Modi ji, respected fathers and mothers, honorable ministers and doctors, advocates, administrators, advisors, those who are listening from the field of science, religion, spirituality, arts, commerce and engineering. I, Dr.RKM from USA, heartily, cordially welcome all of you. Dear friends, you know that in this present time, how we can escape, how we can get salvation, true emancipation, that become possible only by recollecting our past. Today, we face natural disasters, calamities, devastations. It is all the result of man's interference in nature. God or Lord, who is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, almighty, he who was, he who will, and he who is, in present, past and future, he is the same. We feel his presence everywhere. He never leaves us alone anywhere. Through some celestial bodies, he shows his existence even at that place where we cannot imagine anything, but there is also the presence of Lord. Our India, which is known as the beginner, starter, initiator, all the religious starters, different type of language, caste, color, creed, came in India, and starters also born in India. Time to time, place to place, action to action, they performed but one thing was common among them. What was that? They believed in unity and diversity. This is the natural law. This is the principle or doctrine which was created by God, by Lord. God, whose creation is really colorful, multicultural, multilinguist in every form, in agriculture, especially in nature. We become very close with nature by being friendly and familiar with nature. This nature never beat, cheat, defeat and deceive us. We should admire, appreciate and praise the natural elements, natural bodies that are ever created by God. There are some physical celestial examples that we have around us, that they make us able to feel the presence of Lord. Then how a man can refuse or decline from the existence of Lord? In all the adversities, doom days, man learns that supernatural power of God. Our present Prime Minister, Sri Dr. Narendra Modi ji, who has gone in Japan for readdressing, recreating, reforming India's relations on the basis of economy, atmospheric, environmental and natural laws. Such personalities, those who come on this land just for the welfare of humanity, their aim is to make our nation and society better, finer, nicer. All over the world, it is only the land of India which is known as developing land, economically, politically, socially, but in the field of spiritual world, we have the topest rank, the most heightened rank of India in spirituality. It creates oneness, equality, unity all over the world, among the nations, with its humanistic, sympathetic and compassionistic approach for the worldly people. Our all holy scriptures of our holy land have the same teachings, whether they were given, provided different names. as per their language, as per their culture and climate. But initially and ultimately, they were the strong believer of nature. In the whole Bible, it is written that our body is the temple of God. When we feel the presence of Lord or God in the human body, then it becomes equally important in the universe. In every universal element, in every element, object, we feel the presence of Lord. So we cannot be alone in any condition. If we are alone, then it's not a matter of fear. God is always with us. He who was, He who is, and He who will. In all different type of personalities, He came on this earth for teaching us, for making us realize about our past. It was rightly said by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in his greatest tour de force, present lies in the past. Some lines of Robert Frost, who he was the American poet, whose lines, poetic lines, he kept on his table for inspiration, motivation, and encouragement. The woods are lonely, dark, and deep, but I have promises, miles to go before I sleep. Means this word, this materialistic world, seems just realistic, suitable, appropriate, because we forget the truth of life, that is implied in the ultimate aim of life. So everyone has many determinations, promises that we have committed, that we are to fulfill before our last journey of life. Soul's last journey, the final journey of life is death. That is a new journey a man feels when he departs from this earth. But before that time, before that ultimate aim of life, we are to have experiences of this world through the worldly journey. As our present Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is experiencing well of the different type of journeys while in this living body, which is the greatest aim of our human life. If we cope with nature, if we learn and understand from this nature how it creates regeneration, reoperation, reformation in its physical parts without feeling inferiorities, drawbacks, shortcomings. Nature teaches us like a teacher. Nature treats us like a doctor. Nature plays multidimensional, multi-sided, multifaceted roles. When a man observe, examine and evaluate the natural changes by appearing at the sea beach, so this observation becomes a great experience of our ultimate aim of our life. At the foreign land, English people, foreigners, those who believe in the presence of Lord, in the form of air, fire, soil, sky and water, they never feel dejected, rejected, but they feel the presence of Lord by the wish, will and skill of God. Dear friends, our Indian land created such revolutionary and visionary persons like Mahatma Gandhi, who was the strongest and ardent believer of the truth and non-violence. In his great epic, The Testament with the Truth, he expressed that the truth is the biggest power of soul. Similarly, numberless starters, beginners who came in Indian land like Gautam Buddha, who started Buddhism, Mahavir Swami, who started Jainism, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, who started Brahma Samaj, Dayanand Saraswati, who started Arya Samaj. How we can repay them? Nobody can repay them, but we can count the blessings and grace of Lord in the form of their actions. Their actions were really wonderful. Personalities, those who came on this earth in the form of astronomers, free thinkers, messengers, freedom fighters. They were really came on this land as a great reformer and turner. Like Swami Vivekananda, who came in India just for addressing the message of humanity and laws of nature. He was totally covered with natural cultural values, and it is the landmark and milestone of Swami Vivekananda that he presented while addressing the people in the America, just by addressing two words: my brother and my sisters of America. These words are the great symbol and example of our culture, our climate, how our climate or nature teaches us to maintain the balance, to create the oneness, unity and equality inside the body. Dear friends, we spend our time with natural changes. Nature is our true friend. We believe in this doctrine or principle of life since the beginning of this world, since the beginning of the universe. The sun, which is alone, but the greatest source of energy and light for all over the worldly people. In the daytime, we worship the sun as a God. At the night time, we worship the moon, the stars, different celestial bodies. God says that He does exist on the earth, in the ocean, in the sky, in the form of air, by which our human body is made. All the five elements, air, fire, soil, sky and water, these have the presence of Lord. Even where there are not the presence of these five elements, God does exist there. This was clearly, openly proved, advocated, appealed by Swami Vivekananda to the worldly people that by returning to the Vedas, he says that our Indian people feel the existence of Lord even at lightless and soundless places. This was the unique history that was created and maintained by our philosopher, social reformist, Swami Vivekananda. Our youngsters, children, old-aged people of our society must go through the holy literature which was created by Swami Vivekananda for understanding the autobiography and for understanding the thought of our present Prime Minister. Our Indian nation, Indian land is known by patience, by sacrifice. If someone sacrifice and dedicate, devote himself or herself in the service of society and nation, then he is running on the righteous path of life. A man who has come on this earth for serving the society selflessly, selfless service is the true aim of our life. Without any expectations, without any desire. If a man spends his time by the order, blessings and grace of God, he can get the perfect ecstatic joy in his life. No doubt our lifetime is very short, but the actions, art of living, which is the permanent, which will be counted in the history. Every day is becoming history for the futuristic generations. Today, by innovative and inventive skills, we feel proud that our Indian villagers are using online and live programs that are being launched by Google, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Actually, India is the starter of all these online programs, because Indians believe that the Lord or God, who is the doctor of doctors, who is the scientist of scientists, who is the starter of starters, he who is speaking in us, he who is listening with us, that is the superb nature of God. So all these online programs that we are watching, listening, using at home, liking, sharing, subscribing, this is all the blessings of God in Indian land. Our all Indian followers of Indian motherland are to be respected and really appreciable. These are some of the innovative and inventive programs. But when we read the history of our Indian culture, we see that Indian land has created the greatest scholars and learners who were very near with nature, whose food was prepared by the sun, who was cared by the nature directly. It is the Indian land, had great experience, the most greatest experiences that was collected by the Ravana, who was the most brilliant person of of that age. But by the covering of ego, awarenessness, falsification, false affection, greed, erotic, we became the symbol of evil. But Lord Rama, who came on this earth in the form of God as an incarnation, became the symbol of goodness. And we celebrate different festivals in India for reminding, for recollecting the energy of Lord. So dear friends, the true aim of our life is to get freedom. The true freedom is the freedom of our soul. Our mind is flighting in the form of technology, electronology, digitology, and we have become totally dependent upon these online live programs that are created by the man's mind. But who is the maker of the mind? That Lord God. We have forgot His presence. Whenever we are to face the natural changes in the form of flood, earthquake, rainfall, storms, and COVID pandemic like disease, then we remember by the purity of our heart, unexcusably we learn God. Dear friends, wherever we are, in which situation, condition, position we are, it does not matter. But it is the matter of feeling the existence and presence of Lord in every element of the human body, even in the absence of these five elements, in the form of nature, we are to feel the presence of Lord, even in the presence of light and sound, but we are to be equally responsible for feeling the presence of Lord even at lightless and soundless places. We have invented numberless downloadings, recordings, imitations, copying, but the true aim of learning is imagination. We are running after collecting different mortal things of life, but something is immortal, that is the true love of Lord, that is platonic love, selfless love. As we feel the presence of Lord in the form of means of communication, means of transportation, likely that if the speed of means of communication, means of transportation is so faster than other things, then how is the speed of this soul that flies? A doctor knows this thing that a man's heart beats 72 times in 1 minute. In 60 seconds, it takes 72 movements. And at that single moment, our mind starts thinking numberless ideas. So man's mind power is uncalculated. So dear friends, we must remember and we must recount, try to learn the energy and power of our internal organs that God has created to be common, simple and general. But in this materialistic world, in this substantial world, man forgets the energy which says energy neither can be created nor can be destroyed. The true aim of our life we should always keep in our mind. That will make us free from the foundations and cycle of birth and death. Fearlessly and friendly, we are to appreciate, admire such persons, such freedom fighters whose aim was only humanity is our task, humanity is our religion. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I time and again thank God who has given us this wonderful opportunity, time, place and action for counting, recounting, generating, regenerating, operating and reoperating the natural spiritual values of our nation in the world. Students, those who are studying in the different universities all over the world, in Cambridge, Harvard and Oxford universities, those who are very close with the nature by recollecting the energy of nature. So this is the same lesson that is being addressed by the Indian land through present Prime Minister Dr. Modi ji for maintaining the spiritual standard of our world, for the worldly peace. We have cared much our nature, atmosphere, environment. If we are responsible, careful about the nature, then this nature provides us different gifts. Then we can get the soul power, which is the unique method for getting success in our life. Dear friends, method of meditation is the unique way that was invented by our Indian motherland by the repetition of the words. There are some specific words in all the different religions that they provide the presence of Lord everywhere. So there is no question of rejection, frustration in this world, because God's presence is everywhere. And we are to count the blessings and grace of God, whether we are preparing any kind of competition. Swami Vivekananda, who addressed us that success means not only any fixed platform, but success is the name of regularity and continuity. By knowing the factor of time, place and action, we can fulfill our aim. Thanks PM Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Thanks, great.